Not all of them, some of them though.
Jim Jones was never better than Nas. Jim Jones will never be better than Nas. And this is coming from somebody that's not a Nas fan. I love Dipset. I love the Diplomats. I love Bird Gang. But we not about to start rewriting history because Jim Jones got confidence.
Yo, stop what you're doing right now. Did Jim Jones really just cross the line that nobody in hip-hop dares to touch? Yeah, I said, it Jim Jones, the man who brought us We Fly High, just went full reckless mode on Club Shay Shay. And guess who got dragged into the drama? None other than the lyrical god himself, Nas. Are we really living in an era where someone thinks they can throw shade at Illmatic? And hold up before you think this is just another casual podcast clip. Think again. Social media exploded faster than a gas station on a Friday night. Tweets, memes, Instagram stories, they're all burning up the timeline. And right in the center of the inferno is 50 Cent, sharpening his claws and ready to pounce. How did we get here? Why would Jim, who's been quietly playing the streets for years, decide now is the perfect time to challenge a legend? Did he forget the history? Or is he just chasing clout like a desperate TikTok?
I recently saw a clip on Instagram where a young kid was comparing you to Nas and saying that you got
that's my young boy.
Big hits.
He's wild.
Yo, he looked to you. He learned how to wear the BB Simon belt from you. He got his swag. Like, how crazy is that? Because in my era, you know what I'm saying? Nas is like a god.
In my era.
TikTok trend. Either way, the reaction was instant, savage, and absolutely unrelenting. We're about to break down every second of this chaos, the comments, the memes, the hidden receipts, and yes, the one-liners from 50 that hit harder than a full-blown beef record. Buckle up, because this isn't just drama, this is a full-blown cultural ambush, and we've got the inside scoop. Are you ready to see Jim Jones get roasted in real time? Let's dive in. Jim Jones walked into Club Shay Shay like he owned the place and decided to make a statement that instantly lit up the internet like fireworks on New Year's Eve, claiming that nobody in the streets was playing Nas like they used to, and the reactions were immediate and brutal. You could feel the tension in the room as Shannon Sharpe tried to navigate the conversation with professionalism, but even he couldn't hide the disbelief on his face as Jim kept doubling down, explaining that the younger generation wasn't paying attention to Nas anymore and that his influence was somehow fading, which sent social media into an absolute frenzy with fans from every corner of the globe jumping in to defend the legendary rapper, posting threads, memes, and screenshots, comparing Nas's decades-long career to Jim's, pointing out albums, Grammy wins, business moves, and cultural impact, all while highlighting how Jim was trying to measure relevancy with temporary street buzz.
Honestly, I can't, like, if it was like Jim Jones, imagine putting a pen to paper to write about him. He was so nice. He was so nice about him. How did you do that? What's the first sentence? What the fuck you write about him? I'm not anxious to hear the Jim Jones diss record. Like, I'm not, yo, used to have so nervous was like B.I.G., Pac, right? Even Cannabis, like Eminem, used to have you like, if we go at it, dog, we gotta go hard. You know what I'm saying? But these Jim Jones, like, I mean, I respect you getting your money. You're like, exactly, right?
And within minutes, the clip went viral with reactions ranging from outrage to pure disbelief, people calling him delusional, insecure, and even jealous, suggesting that he was attempting to overshadow a living icon to boost his own fading spotlight. Meanwhile, Jim seemed unaware that he was walking into a cultural minefield, continuing to speak about how he influenced the younger artists, how they copied his style, belts, and swag, while trying to position himself as a peer to a man whose career had defined generations, completely missing that respect in hip-hop isn't just earned through hits or trends but through sustained influence, lyrical mastery, and the ability to evolve without losing credibility. Just as the situation was reaching peak chaos, 50 Cent entered the scene like a predator circling a wounded opponent, seizing the moment with precision, reposting clips of Jim talking slick about Nas with captions dripping in sarcasm, memes, and subtle historical references to the early 2000s Dipset vs. G-Unit era, reminding everyone not just of Jim's past antics but also of the hierarchy in New York rap, showing that disrespecting Nas wasn't just risky, it was career-threatening in terms of reputation and public perception. Fans immediately rapped,
"Yeah, Jimmy boy, you should have never brought this up. Y'all are only 3 years apart, and Nas is just like murdering you. You asked us to look up the stats, and here they are. Like Jim Jones, like you got a couple songs. I mean, like literally, it's a couple. But we're talking about Nas. Let me show y'all Nas's last projects. Nas been getting it in since 2018. Jimmy, when the last time you put out an album? Oh, would you look at that? You have been dropping music. You've really been dropping music.
In 50, praising his sharp humor and quick action, while laughing at Jim's audacity, the truth about what he saw in the streets, claiming honesty as his shield, but the internet wasn't buying it, labeling his comments as a desperate attempt to stay relevant while dismissing the accomplishments of someone whose name would echo through the halls of hip-hop history long after trends came and went. And the more he explained, the worse it got, because each justification only made the contrast between him and Nas more glaring, highlighting the difference between fleeting fame and a lasting legacy. And by the time the clip had circulated across every platform, the damage was done, proving that in hip-hop, a single misstep against a legend can instantly ignite a wildfire that no expiation can easily contain. Jim Jones might have thought he was just stirring conversation, but by the time 50 Cent went full force, it became a full-blown spectacle that nobody could ignore, with 50 reposting clips, adding captions dripping with sarcasm, and reminding everyone that Nas's legacy was untouchable, pointing out that while Jim was talking about relevance in the streets, Nas had been winning Grammys, dropping albums that resonated across generations, and building a career that would outlast any—
I never got to see Nas. I never got to sit down and have a conversation with Nas and things like that. I had called you about it and things like that. That was like still one of the people that I never got to have a conversation throughout my history of rap and things like that. I think I would love to have a conversation with Nas. I wouldn't know if he knows it, but Nas was one of my all-time favorite rappers coming up and things like that.
I've heard you say that.
Since the barbecue and things like that. Like he really put the whole dope boy rap, crack hustler, get fresh rap into perspective before anybody
last any temporary hype, and the fans ate it up, flooding the comments with laughter memes and receipts comparing every achievement, every milestone, and every hit record between the two, turning social media into a war zone of opinions and outrage, with threads dissecting Jim's career versus Nas's history while questioning how anyone could even think to challenge a living legend. And the tension escalated as old-school rappers subtly weighed in online, Styles P hinting that respect for the greats was non-negotiable, Fat Joe sharing nostalgic references to the golden era, and Busta Rhymes dropping lines that left no room for misinterpretation, all reinforcing the idea that Jim's comments were a serious breach of hip-hop etiquette, making it clear that legacy and respect cannot be measured by mixtape popularity or street chatter alone. And while Jim tried to justify his words, claiming honesty and speaking for the younger generation, the narrative was already slipping out of his control, because 50 Cent, with his sharp sense for viral moments, continued to post memes, old clips from the Dipset and G-Unit era, and sarcastic commentary that made it look like Jim was grasping at relevance instead of standing on his own merit, showing the public that while Jim was busy critiquing others, Nas had been quietly solidifying his influence.
Nas. But remember, Nas' first record, The Barbecue, came out when I was in 11th grade. So Nas was my idol when I was young. Like you did, came to dressing, the wordplay, the music, everything. I was a superior Nas fan. Period. I'd never take that away from him. But then as I got in the game, you got to realize that your rivals would be idols, and not to take anything away from that. I developed my own style and my own lane that these kids start to gravitate towards the same way I gravitated towards Nas when I was younger and things like that. It's a whole different generation. No, me, Jim Jones. No diplomats, no nobody else. Me, Jim Jones. Check my track record, then check everybody else's track record. Then go to the billboards and check all my entries, then check all them entries and and I'm not taking nothing away from nobody, but I hear the comparisons and then be trying to act funny when it comes. No, I've been spanking a lot of this about the industry. I've been putting
influence and proving that true artistry does not require chasing trends. And the fans noticed this too, amplifying every post, meme, and comment, comparing album sales, cultural influence, collaborations, and lyrical mastery, while Jim's defense only made him appear more desperate, more toned down, and less aware of the historical weight of the name he had chosen to disrespect. And as the conversation spiraled, it became clear that this was more than a simple interview. It was a clash of generations, a reminder that in hip-hop, there are levels of influence that cannot be touched by commentary alone. And 50 Cent was capitalizing on every moment to educate, entertain, and assert the hierarchy in a way that made the entire situation go viral. And even casual fans who weren't deeply invested in either rapper's career were drawn in by the drama, the memes, and the sheer audacity of the feud, while Jim's attempts to pivot, clarify, or soften his statements fell flat against the tidal wave of social media judgment, further fueled by analysis from online commentators, journalists, and fan pages who dissected every word, every facial expression from the interview, and every pass track from Jim's catalog, showing that when you come at a legend like Nas, you're not just facing one rapper, you're facing the collective memory and respect of an entire culture, and 50 Cent ensured that nobody would forget it, using humor, history, and viral commentary to make Jim's comments look reckless, ill-informed, and short-sighted, leaving Jim stuck in a narrative where his words overshadowed his music, and proving that in hip-hop, disrespect travels fast, but legacy travels faster. And by the end of the storm, Jim Jones found himself in a place he likely hadn't anticipated, realizing that even with confidence and social media bravado, some names are untouchable, and some truths cannot be rewritten, no matter how bold you think your statements are. So now that you've seen the full chaos unfold, the real question is, what do you think about this entire saga? Was Jim Jones just speaking his truth, or did he seriously miscalculate by taking shots at a living legend like Nas? And where do you stand on 50 Cent's intervention? Was he defending hip-hop's legacy? Or just having a little fun at Jim's expense? This isn't just entertainment, it's a lesson on respect, timing, and understanding your place in the culture. The internet is buzzing, memes are flying, and debates are heating up, but we want to hear your take. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't hold back. Whether you're Team Nas, Team Jim, or just here for the drama, which moments shocked you the most? Did 50 Cent go too far? Or was it exactly what the culture needed? While you're at it, smash that like button if you enjoy deep dives into the wildest hip-hop controversies. Because we're here bringing you the stories nobody else dares to dissect. And make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because if you thought this was intense, wait until we uncover the next explosive story. The game is always shifting, the drama never stops, and we'll be right here bringing you the truth behind the headlines. So, what's your verdict? Did Jim overstep, or is this all just part of the show?